What up? This is Robert Horry.
Horry, three-pointer. Buries it.
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Horry for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Horry from downtown.
Well, I know what's going on. It's week 226 of this nonsense that we call the Big Shot Bob podcast. B-Dog Brandon Harper. I'm Rob Jenners. That is the birthday boy with no swag, 7-time NBA champion. By the way, I'm going to say that again. 7-time NBA champion, Robert Horry. For starters...
Say that last part again, with no what?
With no swag. The man with no swag. We're going to talk about that in just a second here, but it was, look, man, happy birthday.
Thank you.
It was your birthday this past Monday. Double nickels, right? 55?
Yeah. Double
55, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to creep in. I'm 47, so I'm kind of starting around that corner where I'm like, oh, the big five's coming. So
yeah,
it's gonna happen. I'm gonna, you know what?
When you turn big 5-0, you gotta have a big party, man. You know.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna. I think we're dropping my kid off at my mom's house in South Florida, and Shannon and I. Our plan right now is to do like sandals for like a week.
Okay.
And just disappear and have way too much to drink. And
okay.
Mm-hmm. So, well, look, how was your birthday, man? Let's talk about your birthday real quick.
It was fun. I went down to Pechanga, played. The Lakers were having a golf tournament, and I said, what better thing to go to Pechanga, get a good steak and lobster dinner, get a massage, play a little golf, and then come home.
That's great.
So it was kind of relaxing, but in a good, I got a chance to hang out with some of the old school Lakers like Byron Scott, Coop, Stormin Norman, Sasha, AC Green, Meta, Derek. It was fun, man. Like a lot of guys I played against and played with, so it was fun.
How's Meta doing? I ain't heard from him in a hot minute.
Meta's doing good.
Right.
Meta's lost. All of us as we get older, we try to lose weight. Last time we saw him, he was like, man, I've lost 15 pounds. I said, he looked damn good. I think he'll try to play again. So he looks good. He looks good.
You can try and catch himself a Mario Chalmers big three. Something. All right, well, let's do the pros and the cons of Rob's birthday. Ready? Here we go. I'm glad you had a relaxing birthday. I'm going to start with the pros. Our friends at Clutch Points, friends of the show, they help us with content. I know they listen here and there, so they gave you, I thought, what was a really nice, classy shout out for your birthday. I'm going to read it to you real quick because I thought it was cool. From the Rockets to the Lakers to the Spurs, with a short stop in Phoenix, he left his mark everywhere he went, collecting championships along the way. His ability to hit the biggest shots on the biggest stage made him a true X factor in every single title run. When it comes to winning, very few stand next to him. With 7 NBA championships, Robert Horry owns the most rings of any player since the NBA and the ABA merger in 1976, a feat that speaks volumes about his impact and his legacy. Happy birthday, Robert Horry. I thought that was dope. I was like, good for those guys, man.
That's a hell of a tribute.
That's a nice
it is.
salute.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that. So that,
and they did.
Thank you, guys.
Nice little graphic made up for you, and they posted it. I thought it was dope. I was like, good. That was really cool, man.
Thank you, Clutch.
And Clutch Points coming through. And then I'm like, man, I'm riding a high. Like, Rob got this nice birthday shout out. This is cool. And all of a sudden, my Twitter starts to explode with, hey, they were talking about Rob on the Club 520 podcast with Jeff Teague. And I was like, oh, cool. Rob got another great birthday shout out. That's awesome.
I ain't gonna lie. Nobody cares about his championships, though.
Niggas care, bro.
Bro, no, they don't. Robert Horry was a legit hooper.
You saw Robert Horry got active.
He adjusted.
His championships are valid. It's just that his swag was trash.
Yeah, bro. Yes, you can, bro.
I have 7 championships, bro. Talk to me differently, bro.
We'll come here and say, fuck us, bro.
He can. We're going to say, fuck you back. I love Robert Horry. I'm a vouch for Robert Horry.
Big shot,
But what
Bob.
bro is saying, he got so many championships, nobody ever brings that up in real
Because
conversations.
he wasn't the best player, bro. We understand.
Nah, just because he ain't swaggy. Right?
You have to know basketball to know what Robert Horry meant to the game.
Facts. Robert Horry gonna respond to this. Oh, Robert Horry gonna go crazy.
All right, they're going to flip it up wrong.
Who is Robert Horry's birthday?
Oh, my mama hotter than all that.
Sorry, Chip. Happy birthday, Chip. After that, we got this conversation about. I'm talking about how you ain't got no swag. Happy birthday, boy. Way to keep kicking, boy.
They're giving you shit and they didn't even know it was your birthday.
Hey, that's perfect.
Fucking Jeff Teague, man.
That's perfect.
All right, well, look, man. The floor is yours. Obviously, they're waiting for a response. So go ahead.
Hey, I'll respond because, man, let me just say this. I love y'all podcast. Y'all are some funny dudes, but and for someone who has, I'm gonna give you a half a championship. Take your ass didn't contribute. You gonna talk about I got no swag? Come on, you Arnold looking motherfucker. I'm like, you got no swag. I got more swag than you because I got 7 chips and I play with some of the greatest to ever do it. So, you know what? Nah, I love you, Jeff Teague, man. You're a funny dude, man. So big ups to you and y'all doing great over there, man. But and the reason I found out about this is because my son Cameron said it to me. He was like, "Oh, you gotta get back at his ass, Dad." I'm like, "You gotta get back at him.
You gotta come for it." Oh, that's
But y'all,
great.
man, it's all love, man. And it's so weird because as I listened to it, that motherfucking needle was like this, like that. He liked me. Oh, they legit championships, but he ain't got no swag. I'm like, what is the definition of swag? Just because I didn't play in your era, I played in a different era. I don't know, man. I need people who listen to this podcast, please tell us what swag is, because apparently I have none. But then he threw in this. Maybe he got a lot of girls back in the day. I'm like, no, dude, I was married. I was good. So no. And it's like he went back and forth. I'm like, what is the definition of swag? If I put on all 7 rings and go out, does that mean I got swag when I'm blinding people with all my bling?
Okay, so let me see if I can kind of put it in the best way I possibly can.
All right, go ahead.
When people, and this is not necessarily a fair comparison because now we're talking about when people think of Jordan, like people, when Jordan touched the floor, Jordan had this, people call it aura now, and there's a level of swag that he had, when it came to him being his airness, when it came to him being Black Jesus. There's a level of swag that Mike had that I guess Mike didn't really even have to try. It's just something that he just kind of had, and it matriculated to off the court when it came to so many other things. You look at so many other players, some would say Kobe had a level of swag. I mean, you played with Kobe. I mean, you may say that Kobe had a level of swag. Even, to this day, God rest his soul, that aura and that presentation supplants what he did. It started on the floor and then it kind of transitioned to off the floor. I think a lot of guys kind of just see you as like this old dude who they respect regardless of what was in that clip. Because that podcast, Jeff Teague, B. Hen, and
they're wild,
DJ
man.
are funny. I love that podcast.
Funny, yeah,
they do a good job.
Funny, man.
But I think there are just certain guys in the league, and I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just they just see you as, they respect you, but they just see you as like the old, like one of the old dudes,
Hey, they just basically call me a basic brother is what they saying, man. Because I just did my job and went home. I didn't cause no problem.
Well, but that's it, right?
Yeah,
that's it.
Hey, I thought I got some street cred when I fucking put Steve Nash into the fucking scores table.
Well, I mean,
I thought I got some street cred when I threw the towel in Danny Ainge's face.
That's right.
Damn, I cause some havoc every now and then.
Assault a couple white people. They get your street cred.
That's why I said street cred.
I got you.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's just when you hit a word swag, there I guess there are certain players that come, and that's fine. Not everybody. Some guys may think you have some swag. Some guys may not. It just depends on who you talking to. Obviously, those guys don't think you have it. But it is what it is. Being a respected player like you have been amongst all of your peers and people who play after you and before you. I mean, it is what it is.
I love it though, man. Jeff Teague, shout out to you, man. You funny brother, man. Hey, but but Jeff Teague likes to, be on one end and he comes back. Even the comment he made about LeBron, he's like, "Oh, this," then he came back and, "Oh no, this." He's swaying and needle back and forth. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I mean,
hold on, wait. Let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
Do your kids think you have swag?
I'm gonna just say this: my kids.
Hold on. None of our kids think we have swag, no matter how much we might have. Shaq's kids don't think he has swag. Okay.
Here's the funny part: my kids used to always say, "Dad, your fucking shoes are ugly, man. You gotta get some better shoes." I'm like, dude, fuck them shoes. I'm trying to have comfort shoes, so when I retire, I ain't around here hobbling more than I'm going to be hobbling.
That is, by the way,
that question is yes and no.
That's the pinnacle of old man shit right there, isn't it? Because it's like, I don't care what my shoes look like as long as they're comfortable, as long as they don't
when
hurt
you run
my
up and down
feet.
that court, man, I'm like, that's why I ain't saying I got the best looking feet, but them motherfuckers don't look like Shaq's.
Yeah, but I just think there are a lot of dudes that played. A lot of dudes that played in your era. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're the old guard now. Yeah. So I mean, they're the elder statesmen. Very well respected. But I don't think swag needs to be the thing that needs to be attached to you or a lot of guys. Now there are some, but that's different. But for the most part, swag ain't the thing that's attached to y'all. Yeah, it's just a generation type of thing. It's just they just not attached to y'all.
I think the swag he is referring to is like the flashiness, and we were more brute force, And so, do you want to have someone to knock your ass out the air, or someone just gonna like let you go Olay and lay it up? So
yeah.
But we got Jeff Teague. Let's do each other's podcast so we can talk about what swag is.
He's welcome anytime. I love Jeff Teague. Mm-hmm. I think too, and you said it. I think the whole thing comes down to this: you were a businessman. Mm-hmm. You're like and not to the extent of Tim Duncan, but we've brought Tim Duncan up a bunch of times on this show. Tim is the guy who just showed up for work, did his job, won a title, went home. Yeah. And you would never look at Tim Duncan and go, he's got swag. No. He doesn't. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We talked about it before. He was the quietest superstar ever. And I think that's sort of what they look like. They look at you and they go, okay, you won all these championships, but I got news for you. The logo of our show is you mean mugging the whole crowd after you hit that shot that took down the Kings. So it's like there was plenty of swag out there. And I love Jeff Teague, so I'm not saying this from a place of hate, but why is Jeff Teague throwing rocks at you? Like, Jeff Teague, you made an all-star team and you rode Giannis to a championship. So let's maybe slow down with who's throwing rocks at Robert Horry's 7 chips. You know what I mean? But I say that out of love because I really do love Jeff Teague.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is, that wasn't on the bingo card. I wouldn't expect that. I wasn't expecting that to happen. But at the same time,
is that the true definition of catching a stray?
Sure is. They didn't even know it was your birthday, man. They didn't even know.
Oh, that was just done to perfection. Mm-hmm. To be able to say that, to bring that up, and it be around your birthday is great. Yeah. I just think, look, man, you got to be prepared for anything. Just Teague, B. Hen, and them guys over there talk about. They're fun guys.
Are they in Atlanta?
No,
I don't think so.
No, they're not.
Okay.
I think they're in Indy.
Okay.
I think they're recording Indy.
I'll send him a note. Yeah. We'll reach out. We'll see if we get Jeff on. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Jeff's gonna want you to come on.
Yeah, I definitely do it. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he would. Well, man, dude, there's a ton of stuff floating around this week. Now that we're beyond that nonsense, I was kind of, this sort of surprised me. The story that broke this week from Jake Fisher about the Warriors made a good push for LeBron. I didn't really kind of expect that. I don't know where that popped up, but it said the Warriors reached out to the Lakers on, quote, multiple occasions to try and trade for LeBron James. Obviously, we know that didn't come together. But there's something about the idea of LeBron and Steph. We saw it in the Olympics, of them playing for the same team. That's like, I don't know, that's kind of like a pie-in-the-sky dream team to see the two of them on the floor for the same team together.
Yeah. Not just that. I would love to see where Draymond yells at LeBron for not getting back on defense or something of that nature.
He loves LeBron too, man.
Yeah, because it's like, I think he'll be tested because he loves LeBron, but his competitive, he's like a perfectionist when it comes to playing defense. He wants guys to be in the right position at the right time. When you get a little older, you can't move them puppies like you want to. And so he would will he yell at LeBron? I'd be like, come on, dog, let's go. So,
come on, friend.
But the fact that what the two of them did in the Olympics together, that was very tempting.
Is there any other guys in the league? Dream scenario, throw all the logistics out the window. That would be super cool to see on the same team. Because I'm going to say, I think Luka and Jokic on the same team would be pretty friggin' dope.
I totally agree with that one. Harp, you got one?
I don't know. It's. I would have loved to see what because they are somewhat friends, or he looks up to him like a big brother, to see what KD and Ant-Man would have done.
That's a good one.
Because Ant does see him as a big brother or somebody he looks up to a degree.
Yeah, mentor.
A mentor. So to see how that would have worked out on the floor together would have been interesting.
Yeah, that would have been a good one. I also tripped as I was going through all the notes and stuff this week. I found this stat popped up for about Joel Embiid. And I know we've talked a lot about Embiid. Does anyone know the last time Embiid played in an NBA game? Either of you happen to know that offhand?
The beginning of last year.
So you're thinking what, 2024?
Yeah.
Okay. Now it was actually
probably 23.
It was February 22nd, 2025. He played basketball this year against the Nets. He went up for 31 points, 14 rebounds, and then they shut him down with the knee right after that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember
So
that.
it was right after that the knee shut him down. But here was the stat, and the only reason I brought this up. The Sixers with Joel Embiid are 295 and 157. So significantly good winning record. The 76ers without Joel Embiid are 104 and 163. So, I mean, significantly a swing in the other direction. In the 19 games he played last season, he averaged 23.8 points, 8.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists per game, shot 44%. So without Joel Embiid on the floor, the Sixers don't have any answers. I guess the reason it jumped out to me is I was trying to think, is there another team in the league that if you shut down their superstar would have that kind of a swing?
Denver.
Yeah, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. That was the
Milwaukee
one that
and
jumped out
Denver.
to me was the Bucks. If Giannis isn't on the floor, that team would be sub 500.
Yeah.
And Denver's another good one. But Denver added some pieces though.
Yeah.
And they've got some guys.
Yeah, they got some pieces, but without Jokic, they become extremely small.
It's true.
So, but I think the biggest one is, I will say, Milwaukee. That's the biggest
I feel
one.
like without him out there.
Also, this is going to be weird. So I think right there in your backyard with Trey. I think without no Trey, Atlanta is.
That's fair.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. Because we saw what happened to them for a stretch last season without Trae Young.
I'll say, Miami without Bam.
Yeah.
He's kind of the anchor of that squad. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But here's a question I'm going to hit y'all with.
Go ahead.
Is there one superstar out there on a winning team? If you take them out, they'll be like, okay, we might lose 1 or 2 games without you, but they'll kind of stay afloat.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Brunson?
Part of me. Are you talking about the Knicks?
Yeah, if Brunson had to sit for a month, I think the Knicks have enough talent to probably keep that alive, right?
This is going to sound weird. I thought the Knicks, and also, let's say if Cleveland was out Spider, I think they could stay afloat because they got like 5 other pieces.
Yeah, Darius Mobley. Yeah,
yes,
they got enough guys there.
So yeah, so that goes to show you how good certain teams are.
Well, we also kind of saw that too in Boston when you had to shut JT down.
Yeah,
you know what's Boston without Tatum? So they did all right. They did all right. They weren't the unstoppable powerhouse they were the year before, but they held their own.
Oh, well, this is also contingent upon. Well, I want to say Dallas without Kyrie, but at the same time, the other superstar is at risk of getting hurt too, and Anthony Davis, so that messes it all up.
Yeah, he got paper cut. He's out for 6 weeks.
Stop it.
I'll say this. If either one are out, not both, I think, and obviously this is also contingent upon who Cooper Flagg becomes as well. That's the big piece. They could possibly be one of those teams that without one of those guys, without KD or without AD or without Kyrie, you could look at it and say, okay, this team could possibly stay afloat.
Kyrie, is he going to miss the whole season?
I think so.
I think that's
possibly.
I think there was rumors that it was like late in the year, if anything. But I got to figure, if you're Dallas, you just got to plan for a year without him. So, but Dallas got some pieces. I think you're right. I think if AD can stay healthy and Cooper kind of emerges into a dude and they get some guys back, yeah, I think they could stay afloat. Well, on the note about Golden State here, we talked about them briefly with Steph and LeBron possibly playing on the same team, which never came to fruition. I haven't brought Pat Bev to the show in a while. Rob gives me shit about I like to bring Pat Bev clips to the show. I do like Pat, but I know, but I like Pat Bev. And he made some news this week with this idea that if the Warriors had Paul George instead of Klay Thompson, he thinks they might have won more championships.
If you put Paul George in that role as Klay Thompson, playing with Steph, Draymond Green, Iguodala at a point, but we know Paul George is, a couple years ago, he was in the MVP race. If you substitute them two, right, I think, and we don't know, but we just going off what we think in basketball, I think that Golden State probably wins more championships.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Because you got to take into consideration.
He might win less because he's fucking gonna get hurt.
Yeah, he's.
I was thinking about
you
that.
You got to remember,
Yeah.
during the duration of a lot of those when they won, Klay was there. Klay was playing. Now we do know Klay, with the Achilles and the ACL at one point in time, it hurt the Warriors from possibly being able to contend for more.
Yeah.
But the four that they won, he was there for, and he shot. The way he shot the ball, as good of a shooter as Paul George is, he's not Klay when it comes to being a shooter. Now, I do think he's more athletically gifted than Klay.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
But his inability to stay healthy anywhere he's really been would have hurt their chances of getting 2, let alone 4. Because now you don't have Klay, now you have Paul, so he's a huge piece to that. So the fact that he wouldn't have been able to stay healthy, I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that, Una. I just think when you and that is no diss to PG because PG is a hell of a player.
He is,
but I just think when it comes to a fit, you think about his game versus Klay game. His Klay game is run to that corner, run to that 3-point line. Get that shit up. That's not Paul George's game. Even though he can do that, but he's not as efficient as doing it as Klay. And the other thing, Paul, if I had to, in the prime, if you had to grab one as a defender, Klay Thompson was a better defender than Paul George in his prime. And so I'm looking at that a lot of people don't talk about that with Klay. Klay was an excellent defender before he had the injuries. And that, to me, what made him one of the best players in the game because he'll shoot your eyes out and then hold you. Like maybe under your average on the other end of the floor. So I don't agree with that, and I just think Klay was the perfect fit. That's why they call the Splash Brothers.
Now, from a defensive standpoint, you are right.
Mm-hmm.
We know you hate the term two-way player, but Klay has been one of those guys that was deemed a two-way player when he was in his prime. But so was Paul George. And like I said, everything with Paul George is contingent upon health. But if he's healthy, we can talk about fit and all the other type of stuff. But from a defensive standpoint, they wouldn't have fallen off too much with Paul George if they would have had Paul George instead of Klay Thompson, because Paul George was a good defender as well. Yeah. And in his prime, he was known as a two-way player as well. So from a defensive standpoint, I don't think that's too much of a fall off. I just think because Klay is such a much better shooter than Paul George is already a really good shooter. But Klay is one of the greatest shooters of all time. So it's just the fact that he's exponentially better as a shooter that kind of puts him over the edge. And he fits better with them the way that he can move without the ball.
Yeah, and I think, too, it's a chemistry thing, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Steph and Klay at their peak, it was like they were anticipating each other's moves. They knew where each other were going to be. They were moving that ball back and forth. They were shooting it lights out. So I think part of that it just plays to the chemistry of it. And then, obviously it's all hypothetical because we don't know. Mm-hmm. Paul might have fell into the same rhythm with him, if not better rhythm. We have no clue. But I think that you can't just, and we've talked this, I feel like a bunch before, you can't just replace one dude with another dude and expect it to go the same way. There were so many little things within that relationship with Steph and Klay that made it work that even if you plugged Paul in there instead of Klay, it's not, everything changes because he's got just such a different game.
Yeah.
So
and the other part of it is the the cohesiveness you go with playing with players. You know, you got to think about it. You got a guy like Draymond on that team. I don't know if Paul George and Draymond get along. You know, it's one of those things that
it's true too.
You know, and people forget about it. You need to have that locker room cohesiveness and, you know, that oneness on the court. You know, who knows if that fits?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of an interesting hypothetical, but he made little headlines this week with that comment. Hey, is Mario Chalmers a Hall of Famer?
The big three?
No, and the only reason I ask is he checked a lot of the boxes when we were doing what are the automatic bids for the Hall of Fame, like if you had to name some. Mario Chalmers, by the way, and I didn't realize that till this week. I went back and looked and was like, oh, shit, yeah, okay, he did all this stuff. High school state championship in Alaska, 2002 and 2003. And then NCAA title with Kansas in 2008. He hit the shot that forced it to overtime with Memphis. And then 2 NBA championships back-to-back as part of the Miami Heat with LeBron and D-Wade as part of that Big Three. And then this weekend, took himself home a Big Three championship on a game winner.
For the championship, Beasley over to Lance. He's got time, back to Beasley. Wants space, but he's only got 4 on the clock. Over to Chalmers for the big shot. No! He does it again! Mario Chalmers with a huge shot to seal the deal. The Big Three 2025 champ is Miami 305.
I'm sorry, anytime you hit a game-winning shot for a championship, that's pretty freaking cool. Yeah. Even if it's just the Big Three. But, dude, he won at every level, right?
That's
won in
awesome,
high school,
man.
won in college, won in the pros, and then he won in, I guess we could call it the post-pros. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The post-pros. Yeah, he won back-to-back in high school. He won back-to-back in the NBA, and then now with the Big Three title. But, damn. Like, you think about that, and you're like, he's not a Hall of Famer, but he's had a career. Like, he really has, man.
You know, players impact winning in so many different ways. You know, it don't always have to be points, rebounds, assists. It can be just attitude. You know, he tells a story about how he had to, you know, get into LeBron one game to get him going. And it's just so, it's little things like that, you know, those others do that make the team go.
He's got swag.
That. Yeah, he got swag.
He's got some swag. You ain't got none, but he got some. Yeah, I know. I just figured I'd bring it up because I was like, damn. Shot for the win.
He checks all the boxes.
He checks every box, man. That's crazy. Congrats, by the way, to Candace Parker. Got her number 3 retired by the Chicago Sky this week. Justly deserved. The second woman in the WNBA to have a jersey retired by 2 teams. Obviously, she got hers retired by the Sparks and now by the Sky. The other one was Lindsay Whalen with the Sun and the Lynx. So that was pretty interesting. Congrats to Candace. And she said,
1-1 for her city.
Yeah, she sure did. And then I think she said, like, her son didn't even realize that his mom was like a big-time WNBA player. And it was like, now they went down the rabbit hole and started watching, like, highlights on YouTube and stuff, and her son's, like, her brain exploded. Like, oh, my God, mom did all this? Holy cow.
Hey, you should see mom in Tennessee. Sheesh.
Oh, yeah, big time. Tennessee as well. Yeah. So, no, just congrats to her. And then while we're on the WNBA, they broke a lot of attendance records this year. Less than 3 weeks left in the season. 2.5 million fans through the gates at WNBA arenas. That record stood for about 2 decades. They did it with fewer teams, they have 13 versus the original 16, and fewer games, 226 versus 256. So 3 fewer teams and 30 fewer games, and they broke the WNBA attendance record. So I think that's kind of a nice little nod to the new generation of the WNBA. They're getting butts in the seats, man.
I'm happy for them. They deserve it because they're so talented, and I'm just glad more people are watching.
I fear that they're gonna end up in a lockout though, if they can't get this bargaining agreement done. And it doesn't look like they're coming to any agreement soon because I think the deadline is in October.
Something like that.
I hope they don't go in a lockout because
don't squash the momentum.
Yes, don't do that right now. It's like y'all at the pinnacle of y'all game right now. And you know how fans are. They can be very fickle. It's like, oh, we will support you. Now you want to do this? You know, like, and next thing you know, you back at the bottom, got to start all over. So
I don't think they'll drop that far off. But, I mean, when you have this kind of momentum, you want to keep it going, man. You want to keep the product relevant. You don't want – I mean, damn, they've already had to fight the dildo on the court headlines. Like, there's always something crazy that's happened. It's like you don't want any more negative headlines about, like, all the players are holding out and the lockout and shit. But – I mean, they want more money they probably deserve more money, but I guess the question is the league willing to meet them somewhere in the middle on that? Because I don't think the league still makes enough money.
Well, I know they want a split. I think a split share of the revenue. I think that's what they're asking for. I don't know. I think I saw some breakdown about what that means for salary increases. Like, I think max salaries would then go to like $1 million, and then the minimum would go to 200 and some odd thousand or something like that. So I don't know, but they're in a battle with the league about trying to get more of a split down the middle when it comes to the revenue.
I'm gonna be an asshole right now.
Oh, here we go.
If I'm Clayton Clark, I'm like, I want my image and likeness like Jordan did back in the day. And then I'm like, all right, the rest of y'all figure it out.
Well, I mean, she got her Nike deal, man. What's she care, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying though, you think about all the jerseys that she sells. I'm like, no, I want my likeness and everything the money that's bought to pay my jerseys. I want that money. And then I want a lot of people like, oh shit. We're going to stop hating on Caitlin now because we need her revenue.
Yeah.
Because you think about how much revenue the league makes just off of her alone.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
It really is crazy when you look at the numbers. Yeah, but just congrats to the league, though. I hope they don't drive it into a lockout, man. I really hope they can avoid that somehow. It was, by the way, the day before your birthday. It was 8/24 was Kobe Day.
Yeah.
I was going through and I was like, man.
And 8/23 was his birthday.
Yeah, that's right. And then it was just like so much Kobe stuff online this weekend. Like so many people sharing like stories and memories and pictures and, lessons they learned from him and stuff like that. Saw tons of clips from his final game up this weekend. I know you've told so many Kobe stories on this show. You have any more you want to share? Anything you want to share about Kobe as we kind of had look back on him?
It's just weird because every time I walk in here, he's, his last game and now he's sitting right here. And for me, I always think about the moment I met him and how he was just one to learn about Dream, his footwork. He was always studying players that came before him. When I say studying, I mean, he's breaking down film, watching and every intricate part of their move. We watch film, we don't break it down. We might rewind and say, he did this, but no, this dude was a fucking assassin when it comes to, details. And so that's the one thing that, I want anybody who wants to be great in their craft. They got to pay attention to detail. And this dude was detail oriented. And so it was just, fun to watch the growth of him. He went from you call it like one of those wild horses, how crazy they are until you break them and then they become this refined, great athlete. That's how Kobe was because I got to see all of it. So it was a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still just like, I can't, I shake my head sometimes at the fact that he ain't with us. And it's just, I don't know. Sometimes it just hits me at the wrong moments and messes with me a little bit because it's like, I feel like he had so much ahead of him with what he wanted to do. With all the creative stuff he was involved in and everything he was working on. He had all these book titles under his belt and he had the Oscar. I mean, he had a lot more to give. And
it's not even that. It's that too. But then to think what the impact that he would have had, and rest in peace to Gigi as well.
Yeah.
What she would have done at UConn. And the consistent impact that he would have had on her collegiate career, and to see her develop and to see her grow and to see what she would have meant for the women's game as far as impact wise as well, to have a daughter of Kobe Bryant in the WNBA at some point in time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just when it comes to the nature and the being that is Kobe Bryant, it's so much that comes along with the legacy of who he is and what he's built.
Yeah.
And it sucks sometimes that you have to, that someone has to pass away in order for you to kind of see that and understand that. Because I do think people realize that when he was living. But to wanting him to be here and see him kind of walk some of this stuff out and to see the impact firsthand with him being alive and not looking back on it and saying, oh, what could have been because he's no longer here. And that's the tough part. So it'll never sit right with me. I don't care how long we go; it'll never sit right with me.
Yeah, just tough sledding, but nice to remember him this weekend. It was so very cool to watch. A lot of people telling their Kobe stories and rehashing some classic stuff. So thank you, Rob, for sharing with us, man. Mm-hmm. And then, we're going to do pick'ems this week in a second, and I'll explain why. College football's back, and I want to know. I need to know. Are you back on the Alabama bandwagon?
Or root for my alma mater.
Oh, that didn't sound convincing in any way. Root for him, I guess.
You know what? I'm on the football bandwagon. Yes, okay. I'm gonna say that.
Okay.
I'm on the football bandwagon. I'm gonna support the football team.
Okay.
I'm just a little cross-eyed at the basketball team. That's all.
Still.
That's it. Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. Because as long as they have my images up in that arena and I ain't getting no fucking money for it, I'm gonna still look at these jokes cross-eyed because hey, you using my image and my likeness, I want to get paid for it too.
Yeah. You need to get you in one of them NIL lawyers, man, is what you need.
That's what I'm about to do.
Hey, go get you a name, image, likeness lawyer. They're all over the place now.
Do they invite you back? Do they include you in a lot of stuff that they do at all? No?
I guess I was going to say that didn't seem,
I plead the fifth on that one.
Oh, that means
I will say this. The AD, Byrne, he has been reaching out, and he has been talking to me. But as far as the people on that basketball squad, negative.
Okay. All right.
Well, part of the reason why we're going to do Big Shot of the Week here, and then I don't have a game this week because we've been so busy with college football at the radio station. I haven't had like 5 minutes to pull a game together. So I figured we're going to lean into why I've been busy, all the college football picks. So we're going to do, not going to do a lot, we're going to do 5. We're going to do 5 college football games, and we'll all pick, and we'll see how it fares next week. So that's going to be, this week's game is going to be a pick 'em. And we'll see how we do. But first, we got to do Big Shot of the Week, and it's going to go to the Farmington Hills Police Department in Michigan. They are just outside of Detroit. Here's why. A 4-year-old named Micah Porter was home with his family on August 20th and dialed 911 while his dad was doing laundry. Rather than report an emergency, Micah just wanted to share details about his favorite activities with the police, including soccer and swimming and his big brother Mitch's upcoming birthday. So officers, of course, because he dialed 911, had to respond conduct a standard welfare check. But instead of issuing a warning or a citation to the family, they did the best thing possible. They kind of leaned into it and embraced the moment. They invited Micah and Mitch to explore the patrol cars, turn on the sirens, use the loudspeaker, and really just kind of embraced it. And then Micah took the opportunity to announce, by the way, my brother's 7th birthday was the next day. So the next day, a dozen patrol vehicles showed up and lined the streets, and they gathered to celebrate his brother Mitch's birthday. They made him an honorary officer. They gave him a badge, like a little sticker badge, and a hat and all kinds of stuff. And I just thought that was dope because the dad was like, man, they could have like really given me like a citation or like written me up for this, or I could have gotten a ticket or something for my kid calling 911. Dad's doing laundry. And the kid calls 911 to talk about soccer. And they, to their credit, they did the exact opposite, man. They leaned into it. They had fun. The fact that all those cops showed up at his brother's birthday the next day, I just thought that was super cool, man. So big shot of the week to the Farmington Hills Police Department in Michigan. That was pretty dope.
That's what's up.
I want to know how big that city is, Farmington Hill.
Well, it's just outside of Detroit. I can't. Okay. It's a suburb of Detroit. I can't imagine it's too big.
Okay.
I mean, if you had a dozen free cops to just show up at a 7-year-old's birthday party.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, just like they were on the clock and they're like, I'm going to give me some cake. Might as well deliver on the cake. All right. Well, look, this week's game is actually going to be a little bit of more of a traditional football segment. And we're going to do pick'ems. I'm interested to see where you guys fall in on some of these big games this weekend. So college football is back. Of course, we're all big college football fans on this show. And we got to do some picks because there are some pretty damn big games this weekend. We're going to start with the Friday night game, the one that has consumed most of my last 2 weeks. Georgia Tech at Colorado. This is the Friday night game, 8 p.m. on ESPN. Georgia Tech's laying 4.5 points on the road at Colorado. Robert Horry, you want the Jackets or you want the Buffaloes?
I'm going with the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech.
Ramblin' Wreck, Georgia Tech. Laying the points, picking the Jackets. B. Harp.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Jackets too. I just think they have more pieces established, and you know what you're going to get from those pieces more so than Colorado. Colorado's coming in with a new quarterback. Obviously, Deion is without both of his kids for the first time in a long time. So I'm going to go with the Jackets in this one to go out to Boulder and get a win.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. Lay the points. Take the Jackets. Jackets are going to win by at least 10 points here, I think. Haynes King, I think, is just poised to have a nice little comeback season. Jamal Haynes is a great running back for Georgia Tech. And I'm with you, Hart, but I just think Colorado's got too many question marks going into the opener, man. You got a new quarterback. I mean, Deion's health has been an issue, so I don't know how much he's been involved with, the last couple weeks of practices with everything he's going through. So, yeah, I think Georgia Tech takes that one. By the way, huge game to start week one. Saturday, noon, on Fox, number 1 Texas at number 3 Ohio State. Ohio State, defending national champions, laying 2.5 points at home. Who you got, Rob? Texas or Ohio State?
Which is also the reason, I guess, why it's so early is Lee Corso's last game as well.
It is. That's why they're doing the noon game. But I think for me, that's the biggest game of the damn weekend.
It is.
Number 1 and number 3.
Ohio State's favored in this game, and I want to go with Ohio State, but kind of want to stick in the SEC, and I think it's going to come down to the quarterback play. You have a veteran quarterback versus a guy who's new to the system, Ohio State. So I'm going to have to go with UT. I got to go with Hook 'em Horns.
Hook 'em Horns.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call Arch Manning.
I was going to say, I don't know. He's a veteran. He is.
This is his first year starting. Now, he did play.
He's been in the league for a minute, though.
Well, he's been there for a year.
Yeah, but he's a new starter. Now, I do think he's the better quarterback than Ohio State's quarterback. He
starts last year when O'Boy was hurt, so.
Yeah, when Ewers was out.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game, I think Ohio State has the best player on the field in Jeremiah Smith, the receiver, who whenever he comes out will probably be the number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of former Alabama players.
Well, we know Ohio State's got a payroll, if nothing else, man. We know that.
Yep.
But so does Texas, by the way. Texas got a lot of money.
This is the first time I think a number 1 ranked team is coming to the season being an underdog in a very long time. I'm gonna take Texas.
Everybody's hooking them horns.
I'm gonna take as the number 1 team in the nation. I'm gonna take Texas in the upset.
In the upset.
I'm gonna take Texas as a slight upset in this one.
I like Steve Sarkisian. I like Arch Manning. That said, I'm picking the Buckeyes, man. Ohio State at home, laying 2.5 points, dude. Give me Ohio State in this one. I mean, nothing against Texas. I just think Ohio State at home, that place is going to be a madhouse.
Yes,
it's going to be off the chain. It's going to be unhinged. So I'm going to pick Ohio State with the home field. All right, number 3, Alabama heads to Florida State. I don't think the discussion here is going to be about who wins this game. This is Saturday, 3:30 on ABC. Bama's laying 13.5 points. So the question really here is, can Bama cover a 2-touchdown spread against the Seminoles?
I don't think they cover.
Oh.
Because Florida State hates Alabama from when they made it to the playoffs and they didn't. Alabama has a new quarterback, and so I think it's gonna be an Alabama win, but I don't think they're gonna win by 2 touchdowns.
Florida State got a new quarterback too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like a receiver or some shit. Castellanos, isn't he like a receiver turned quarterback or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Bama, but I'm not gonna take them to cover.
Okay, so you got Bama to win but not cover. So Florida State is your pick.
I think, Florida State, you're going into Doak Campbell Stadium, which is pretty hostile environment, being the first game of the season. And being the first game of the season, it's hard to really take Bama with that many points when you don't necessarily know what they're going to look like either. But I am going to take them to win this game, but I won't take them to cover.
Yeah.
I think you're both insane. I think Bama's going to destroy Florida State, who was 2-10 last year, and Alabama got a big fat chip on their shoulder. I think Alabama's going to come in and win by like 30. They're going to destroy Florida State. So yeah, I'm picking the Tide. Roll Tide all day on that one. I think they cover that. All right, number 9, another good game. I wrote Clemson on here twice. It's wrong. Number 9 LSU at number 4 Clemson is the game. This is Saturday night, 7:30 on ABC. Clemson laying 4 at home.
Clemson winning by 2 touchdowns.
Okay. You going Dabo all the way?
Yeah, Dabo, up on board.
I don't know, man.
Dabo.
Don't sleep on LSU, though. Hold up. Don't sleep on LSU.
LSU always starts out kind of a little sluggish. So
they done lost I can't remember the last time LSU won an opener.
It's been a stretch, yeah. I don't remember what the number is, but it's been a stretch.
I'm trying to remember. Is this a neutral site game, or is this in Baton Rouge, or is this in Death Valley? Which Death Valley is it in?
Which Death Valley is it in? That's a good question. I don't know.
I think it's in Clemson's Death Valley.
I think it says at Clemson, but I don't know if it's a neutral site game.
I think with Dabo coming into this season, they're one of the national title favorites, or one of the darlings by a lot of people, because they are returning a lot of offensive firepower. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take Clemson in this because Cade Klubnik, I believe that's the quarterback's name.
Yes, it is. Klubnik.
Is poised to have what a lot of people would consider a Heisman Trophy candidacy, along with Arch Manning. So I think if that's going to be the case, then I think they're going to start off hot.
Yeah, it says this game's in Clemson.
Yeah.
So it's at home. Yeah, I agree. I think Clemson wins this one. I'm not sleeping on LSU by any stretch, but I do think Clemson probably wins by at least a touchdown here. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I don't trust Brian Kelly either.
Oh, no, I never trust Brian Kelly. I'd never trust Brian Kelly. But I think Clemson's too damn good. I think they're probably going to end up winning the ACC this year. I feel like they're going to get into the playoff with a bid. So, I mean, again, these are all...
What other team in the ACC got a good team?
Miami.
North Carolina, because of Belichick?
Oh, no, shut up, North Carolina. Miami. It's really Clemson and Miami are the two horses.
And my thing is, if Georgia Tech can make that next step and they can take a big leap, they could surprise some people in the ACC.
They could show up. They could be a top ACC team. They could.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, Rob. And SMU would be the only other person in the ACC that jumps out to me, only because of the season they had last year. Mm-hmm. So I'm not 100% on my music stuff because we talked too goddamn long. Hold on, let me music back on. There we go. All right. And by the way, that's the music from Dumb and Dumber. If you're curious, that's how much faith I have in our picks. All right. So the last game on the slate, and we'll wrap up the show with this one. We talked about what other team is in the ACC that's got half a shit. Well, it's going to be the Miami Hurricanes. Number 6, Notre Dame. At number 10, Miami. This is the Sunday night game. 7:30 on ABC. Irish laying 2.5 on the road at the Canes. Irish, by the way, coming off an appearance in the national title game last year, which I completely forgot about.
Yeah, I didn't.
I completely forgot they played for the title last year.
Well, you go first, Hart.
Okay. Rob's punting.
I'm gonna, in this rivalry of Catholics and convicts.
Yeah, man.
Well, a much watered down version over the years, but
sure.
I'm gonna take Notre Dame by a little bit. I'm gonna take Marcus Freeman. As a head coach, taking that next step, obviously being in the title game last year, returning his running back, who's one of the top running backs in the nation, getting another transfer quarterback in that they've ingratiated into that system. I'm going to take Notre Dame to go down to the U and take care of business.
You know what?
You still deferring, Rob? Or you want to?
No.
Okay.
I go now. I wanted to see what Hart was going to say because he talked about a quarterback coming in. You forget, Miami had a guy that was right there for the Heisman until he got
Carson
hurt.
Beck, yeah.
Carson Beck going to make his debut in Miami, so I think I'm gonna roll with the U. And so I think you know me. I'm just a Notre Dame hater. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just a Notre Dame hater, and I'm gonna roll with the U. I just don't trust Notre Dame yet, and so I gotta go with Carson Beck in his new system where he gonna just air that shit out because the run that's what Miami did last year. You know how they offensive, there was an offensive juggernaut. So
to your point, to your point, Miami might have the best offensive line in the country. Mm-hmm. Miami's got a couple of great running backs, and Miami paid as much money as they had to pay to completely rebuild their defense. They went out and paid every cornerback and defensive back they could find. Stole one from Wisconsin. I mean, they did everything possible to fix the problems they had on defense last year, because that's the only thing that kept Miami out of the playoff last year, is that you could score on Miami. The three of us could probably put one in the end zone against the Canes last year. I think Notre Dame's got an unproven, brand new quarterback. They're going to go into a very hostile environment in South Florida. Hard Rock Stadium fits about 50,000 people, and they're going to fill that place. I think that Miami's going to win this one. I do. I think Miami maybe wins by a touchdown here. I think Notre Dame has got a great team, so I'm not trying to short sell the Irish here, but I think Miami's got a lot of weapons and a lot of protection for Carson Beck, and we're going to find out real quick if all the money they paid for that defense was worth it, because they're going to have to stop some of the best guys in the country on the Irish.
Yeah.
So, but I do think that, if I'm rolling with the Canes on this one, man.
Yeah. So who has the highest payroll in college now, Ohio State or Miami?
I mean, honestly, it could be Texas. I don't know. Are you giving me those two options because you know the answer?
No, I'm asking, but I don't think it's either of those three.
Okay. Who do you think it is?
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm. Texas Tech just put I think $20 million into that. It's something ridiculous that Texas Tech just did.
Okay, because I know Ohio State and Texas got to be up there, especially Ohio State. They put a lot of money.
They were number one last year.
Yeah, those two are always going to be somewhere up there just because of the money they have at their disposal.
Mm-hmm.
And, alumni they're going to kick in whatever. Also, I think another team that is going to really continue to kick in some money is Oregon, and that's that Phil Knight money. Phil Knight is going to be over in Nike, has said, we are going to, which is how they came into the Big Ten in their first year and took it over. They're going to do anything they possibly can to build out a roster, spend any kind of money they possibly can. The checkbook is open, pretty much. So if we talking Phil Knight and we talking Nike money, we're not just talking about various uniform changes.
Who did you think it was, Rob?
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. As of the 2025 season, Texas A&M.
Oh, that's the other one.
Is widely reported to have the highest payroll in college football. That's
College Station.
Yeah, NIL collectives, by the way, ranging from 25 to 30 million annually. Other programs that are ranked up high in 2025 are Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Texas, and LSU. Mm-hmm. Those are the highest NIL spenders on the list right now. Now that's not to say that some of these other teams aren't going to,
Right.
But I'll tell you what, man, I'm surprised Miami's not on that list. They paid a lot of money for all those dudes on defense, man. They were like, all our guys suck. They're all transferred out. Let's go ahead and just get rid of this whole thing.
But your main spenders are, there's no surprise. They're going to come from your two main conferences.
Absolutely. Who do you think the highest paid guy in college football is right now?
Probably Manning.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah,
Arch Manning. Who do you think's number two?
Is it a quarterback?
It sure is.
Carson Beck.
And we just talked about him. Carson Beck's number two.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So those are your top two guys. So, yeah, man, dude, college football's wild right now. It's like mini NFL. Just who's going to get the most money, who's going to pay the most. And I hope they fix the transfer portal because that thing decimates teams, man. That sucks.
I think they need to make these kids, since you're making this type of money, sign contracts.
100%. They got to get to that.
Yeah, now you locked in for 2 to 3 years. Like, you want $3 million?
At least a year, right? If not two. I mean, I would say minimum 2 years on some of these deals. Like, sign
and
these
you can
kids.
only transfer once. So that's it, man. It's just
the
ridiculous.
NCAA doesn't give half a shit. They're just like letting everybody. The inmates run the asylum over there. So.
Well, that's because the NCAA has also had to, they did that settlement with a lot of schools where they shelled out at least $20 million in each school to be dedicated to respective collectives. So as far as the NCAA is concerned, they're just happy to still be some form of an entity right now.
Exactly right.
So they don't have really a leg to stand on.
We still exist. That's all that matters here.
Right.
Yeah.